Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the jurist and their books. This topic is relevant for UGC NET, CUET PG and CUET UG. The first jurist is Hugo Grotius. His book is De Jure Belli et Paces on the law of war and peace. This book was published in 1625. The next jurist is Jeremy Bentham. His first book is Limits of Jurisprudence Defined, and the second book is Theories of Legislation. The third book is The Introduction to the Principle of Morals and Legislation. The next jurist is Austin. His book is Province of Jurisprudence Determined, and this book was published in 1832. The next jurist is Julius Stone. His book is Province of Jurisprudence Redetermined, Legal System and Lawyers' Reasoning, and Provinces and Functions of Law. This book was published in 1946. The next jurist is Eyring. His book is Law as a Means to an End, and this book was published in 1914. The next jurist is Pound. His book is Jurisprudence, and that book was published in 1959. The next jurist is Hart, and his book is The Concept of Law, and this book was published in 1961. The next jurist is Fuller. His book is The Morality of Law, Antinomy of Law, and that book was published in 1968. The next jurist is Mine, and his book is Ancient Law. The next jurist is Friedman, and his book is Law in Changing Societies, Dilemmas of Law in Welfare State. This book was published in 1985. The next jurist is Hoffeld, and his book is Fundamental Legal Conception, and that book was published in 1913. The next jurist is Pattern. His book is A Textbook of Jurisprudence, and that book was published in 1972. The next jurist is Goodhart. His book is Essays in Jurisprudence and Common Law, and that book was published in 1931. The next jurist is Savigny. His first book is Da Rest des Vestiges, The Law of Possession, and this book was published in 1803, and the second book is System of Modern Roman Law, and that book was published in 1835. The next jurist is W. Buckland. His book is Some Reflections on Jurisprudence, and that book was published in 1945. The next jurist is James Elmus. His book is A Practical Treatise of Architecture Jurisprudence, and that book was published in 1827. The next jurist is Thomas Pause. His book is World Poverty and Human Right, and that book was published in 2002. The next jurist is Dworkin. His book is Taking Right Seriously, and this book was published in 1977. The next jurist is Cardozo, and his book is The Growth of Law, which is published in 1924, and the next book is Nature of Judicial Process, which was published in 1921. The next jurist is Holland, and his book is Element of Jurisprudence, published in 1880. The next jurist is Hall, and his book is Foundation of Jurisprudence, was published in 1973. The next jurist is Gray, and his book is Nature and Sources of Law, was published in 1909.